it's beautiful when we start to open up these conversations of dreams because some people will say, I don't have any dreams. Well, we know that is not true because all of us have dreams. In fact, dreams is the one thing that connects every single one of us, every human on this planet, no matter where you're from. Dreams look different, obviously, in different places, but it's really cool to see that these are the dreams that people get so excited about.
Hey, it's Nikki Llewellyn Gregory, and you're on Gut Plus Science. You're in for a fast-paced, storytelling, action item-rich leadership growth experience. I hope you make this podcast a habit. I consider it a leadership mentoring tool. Learning together makes us better together, and that is how we change the world around us. Let's get to it. Hey, it's Nikki back on Gut Plus Science, and I'm so excited for today's conversation. I feel like so past due. Kate Volman is the CEO of Floyd Consulting and just so happens to be the home of one of my favorite books of all time. You know, on Gut Plus Science, for nearly 8 years strong, we talk about books that have changed our life at the end of every single episode. Well, we've brought up The Dream Manager so many times, and Kate Volman, CEO of Floyd Consulting, one of their core programs at Floyd is the Dream Manager program. So if you've heard about the book, hopefully you have. If you haven't, go get that book. Or if you've heard of workplaces that are incorporating the Dream Manager, this is where it all comes from. Led by Matthew Kelly and so many great just components of this program that changes lives, drives engagement, builds incredible culture. So, Kate, I'm so excited for you to be here today with me and really want to spend time today talking about how the Dream Manager can be applied so simply. It's a simple effort. You can go as complex as you want, but the simple things can make such a big impact. So I just want to open it up with, my excitement for Dream Manager. I'm just going to open up and have you share like your why behind this being a major effort behind the work you do every day.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on the show, Nikki. Big fan of your work and everything that you are doing, and really focused on helping people become better so that organizations can get better. So our missions are so in alignment. And I just feel so blessed to be able to get to do this work. Like a lot of people, I read The Dream Manager 15 plus years ago, and most people, they read the book and then they think, oh my God, this is amazing. I want to do something with this. And Matthew is just, one of his values really is simplicity. And so it's amazing to be able to help people take this concept of helping people dream, helping people become the best version of themselves, and then apply it to their role in an organization, and then watch their people thrive, and then watch the organization thrive. And so I get to do this work when, again, I read the book over 15 years ago. I really dug into it. I was working at a chamber of commerce at the time, and I thought, like a lot of people who read the book, I want to do this and I want to implement this in my organization. And so I took pieces of the book and I started to quote unquote implement it. Little did I know, there was an actual certification. You can become a certified dream manager, and there's people in organizations that roll this program out, and they actually lead that part of helping their team members. And so that's the work that we get to do at Floyd. And really, Matthew has spent over 3 decades helping people and organizations become the best version of themselves.
So amazing. And just to paint the full picture of why would we bring dreams into the workplace? We look at work and most people are like waiting for Friday, end of day, and Mondays are dreaded. But what if they could be a place that just extends and expands who you are, your strengths in life, and like becomes a joyful thing all the time. And you're pursuing your dream at the same time that you're doing your work. What if? Why not? Like, where did we come to, in this human experience? We came to this place that like work is this, got to check myself out of who I am and go put on this other hat and be this different thing. It's like, no, work is just an extension of our greatest strengths, our God given talents. And if we're using our work, the platform of the people and the opportunities of what we get paid and the benefits that we have and the time off and all of that to pursue our dreams at the same time, like why not? So that's what this is. That's why we're here today. Kate, I'd love for you to share anything that comes to mind. You can maybe give a couple different stories to really illustrate this. Because sometimes dreams, they're not these like big expansive things of I'm going to leave my community here in Indianapolis, Indiana and move across the world. That could be the dream, could be a lot more simple. Give us like an understanding of what dreams look like for most people and how the workplace like helps them do that. Some stories that you've seen happen.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you kind of started there because it we see this in a lot of people. Will when we start talking about dreams, immediately so many of us think it has to be this, I want to own a yacht and live on a $25 million home on the beach, and they think that's the dream when really dreams are the things that fuel us. Dreams are the things that we just want to see in our lives, and they're very attainable. And so the dreams that we have from our dreamers that we work with, they're things like they want to buy their first home. They want to get out of debt. They want to be almost every dreamer has on their dream list become financially free, right? Like we all want to be financially free. We want to have better relationships with our spouses. For some, a lot of people have a dream of, in fact, I would say probably our top three dreams are buying their first home, becoming financially free, and getting fit. People wanna lose weight, get fit, they wanna fit into the dress that they wore a couple years ago, or they have an upcoming event going on, or they wanna run a marathon or triathlon or something like that. For some people, it's they wanna get more involved in their community and donate to charity and be involved in their church. A lot of people have a dream of having a better relationship with their spouse, their significant other, or their children, or someone in their life. And of course, there's all different types of dreams. And so one of the things that Matthew shares in the Dream Manager is the 12 categories of dreams. And so many people have a professional dream, they have material dreams like they want that car or they want that new home or to renovate their kitchen. But there's also what are your spiritual dreams? What are your creative dreams? What are your legacy dreams? And those are other dreams that not everyone taps into, but those are dreams. Like what do you want to leave behind for your family? A lot of people in the fourth quarter of their life, they switch to more legacy dreams. They want to know that they are making an impact in the world. They've had a really successful career and now they're looking and thinking, how can I be involved in the community and my church and really build up the leaders behind me? And it's beautiful when we start to open up these conversations of dreams because some people will say, I don't have any dreams. Well, we know that is not true because all of us have dreams. In fact, dreams is the one thing that connects every single one of us, every human on this planet, no matter where you're from. Dreams look different, obviously, in different places. But it's really cool to see that these are the dreams that people get so excited about. We were working with a woman who she had this dream of going on a safari, and it was a dream of hers for years and years and years, and she thought, "It's just never gonna happen. It's too expensive. I don't have the money," and so she put it on her dream list, and she goes, "You know what? I'm gonna put it on my list, and maybe this is like a 5-year dream." Well, she actually made that dream happen in a year and a half.
That's awesome.
Amazing, right? Like,
So awesome.
simply because she wrote it down and she saw that she could do it, and we see that all the time too. We see people that we work with our dreamers, and we have them write down 2 one-year dreams, and then a 3 to 5-year dream, and then a 5+ year dream, and so often, people will achieve their one-year dream in 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, and they're like, "Wow, I've had this dream for a decade, and I actually got it done because not only was I being held accountable by my dream manager, but I also got encouragement. When I thought I couldn't do it, they encouraged me to keep going and really infused the belief in them that I can make this dream happen, which so many people don't have, Nikki. People don't have those people in their lives that are cheering them on and helping them achieve those dreams.
Yes, yes. And we really want to break down how simple it can be the leader that asks the question, just the simple question of like, what are your dreams? And somebody's like, well, I don't have any. Maybe I pulled out my book from, we just recently at People Forward Network did a session with Kate, and I have dream plan do. And then I've got all of my categories in here, like all my sketched out notes and like wrote down, like 100 dreams was the challenge, I think, in the session. And so just the simple effort of helping people think about their dreams. We all have dreams. Maybe we just forgot to keep dreaming as we became parents or got into work and all of that. And at work, if we're a leader that just stops to say, oh, wait, before anything, I just want to build a relationship with you, my team member, my peer, and help you to dream. The Dream Manager program helps that leader to make that most robust. And so we just went through this Dreamstorm session with you, and it was so fun. And a number of us on my team have been collaborating on our dreams. So all of us have dreams inside of us. Be a leader that just asks those questions to really get to know, and just the energy that comes from dreaming. Like at work today, you're sitting at your dining room table with your kids and your spouse and talking about your day. And you're like, I mean, actually, I sat down and wrote down 3 dreams for our family today. Do you want to hear them? I'm pretty sure everybody's like, yeah, I do. Right. And then how we break those down and go do those. And Kate, you talked about most people, fall into these categories of the house, the money, the being fit, or the health things. And you think about the workplace and the benefits we put in place, and the time off that we give to people, or financial incentives, or, hey, we're going to give you wellness stipends. Think about that. All of those types of components fit in to help people on the path to their dream. So if we can get clear on the dream, and then we say, yeah, here at ABC Company, we want to help support that. And you, as a leader, are helping to customize that. Dream Manager program just makes it easier. So, Kate, let's break down what that looks like. The simplicity and the impact of this. Like, walk us through kind of programming that you bring to workplaces.
Yeah. So when somebody comes to us, typically they've read the book and they're like, yes, I love this concept. And we work with a lot of organizations, all different industries, all different sizes. As you know, the Dream Manager is written about a janitorial company. So we do work with quite a few home services industries, but it's across the board. We have clients that have 50 employees. We have clients that have 25,000 employees. And so this is a scalable, simple program that anyone can implement and start seeing results immediately. So you get certified to be a dream manager. Yes, there's actually a certification. So we do it in person, and you come and get certified. It's a 2-day certification. And what we're doing during those 2 days is we're teaching you how to have a dream storm with your team members so that you introduce this concept, this idea, because most people have never had a coach. They've never had a dream manager, right? They've never worked at an organization where the leadership said, hey, we care about you as an individual. This is not productivity training. This is not any kind of HR training. This is, we want to help you achieve your personal dreams. So lots of people have not had that experience, so we teach you how to roll the program out so people understand what it actually is. And then we walk people through, okay, how are you going to be this dream manager? Essentially, you are the life coach for your people. So Matthew developed a beautiful curriculum that is very simple to use. And every time that you're meeting with your dreamer, you have a different section that you go through. There is a financial and budgeting session because every dream has some type of financial component attached to it. So we talk about that. There are different sections that talk about your time and energy, the genius of your personality, spirituality, relationships, and communication. So every session that you're meeting with your dreamer, you're not only always going back to the dreams that they want to achieve and helping them achieve those dreams by holding them accountable and encouraging them. But you're also feeding them this new content, this new information. So part of the program is actually reading another one of Matthew Kelly's best-selling books, which is The Rhythm of Life. So they're learning about themselves. They're uncovering things about themselves that they never would have dug into had they not had this program. And so you help them come up with their list of dreams. You help them pick which dreams they really want to work on. And now you're guiding them along this beautiful journey of introducing them to all these different topics that help them become the best version of themselves. So at the end of the year, Nikki, these people are transformed. Like they are transformed in ways that just shock some of the leaders that are working with these folks. In fact, I had a CEO that called me up and said, I cannot tell you every single one of our team members that had gone through the program has come into my office, and the person that is sitting in front of me is wildly different. They're more confident, they're more engaged, they're more excited. They're so excited to tell me about the changes that they've made in their lives, not just the dreams they've achieved, but just the tools that they now have to have better conversations with their team, to have better interactions with their children, to step up and say, "Hey, I want to have a leadership role in this organization," when a year ago they never would have thought that was even possible or interested in it. So that's what is so exciting to see. And as leaders, we get to coach people, and coaching is a gift. Like, you literally are we're giving you the tools to help your people grow in all different areas of life. And if they're growing personally, they're going to be different and show up professionally. And that's what's so exciting.
Oh my gosh. And I love living with intention. I talk so many times about how fast this life goes. And just all of a sudden you're like, that was 3 years ago already. Right. And why are we waiting to do the things? Why not just go do it? Because before you know, it's going to be another 3 years. And so more people in this world living by design with intention, first of all, just speaks to my heart. And if you think from an engagement perspective, a workplace, and you want an engaged workplace, you want a more vibrant culture. When people dream, think about the vibe that's created. It's definitely not the opposite of what you want, right? Like anything, if someone's dreaming, they're in creative state, it's inspired. The vibe that that brings to drive engagement up, pretty incredible. And then I was starting to think about when you said earlier, like you get a dream manager working here, right? And I'm like, there has to be stories about people they're coming into a workplace or deciding if they're going to work there. And part of working here is you get a dream manager. There has to be stories you've heard where people are like, what? That's freaking cool. Like, that's such a cool talent attraction strategy. Do you have comments
Oh my
there?
gosh. Yeah. In fact, right as you're saying that, I think about this bank that we're working with. They have 5 dream managers, and it's so cool because not only are they one of the best banks to work for, and they're continuously on these really great lists of like banks to work for, and they've increased their net promoter score. But the dream manager there actually said that now banking is interesting, right? Because a lot of people move around to different banks, and obviously retaining and hiring great people is a challenge today, and 20 years ago it was a challenge, right? Like, it's constantly this challenge of like finding and retaining great talent. And he said, because people in the community have heard, "Oh, this bank has a dream manager. What is that?" It's a life coach, and this is what it is. So they learn about the program. He said he's actually had really incredible people from different banks come to him to try to work there, simply because they know that they care about their people. They're like, "Oh, they have a culture where they have dream managers that are helping people achieve their dreams." And so they've been able to recruit, not even recruit, these people literally come to them. And he said it's been amazing because they are just living this dream culture. It's being spilled out into the community. People are hearing about it, which then is attracting really great talent. So we're seeing that. We also, I had a woman, one of the dream managers that we work with. They're in manufacturing. They have about 400 employees, and she said that they implemented the program, and probably like 6 months into it, one of their leaders who was on the executive team came to them and said, "I was thinking about leaving. Like, I was in this, maybe it's time for me to leave and get a new role." But then they implemented the dream manager, and she said, "After that, when I thought, wow, now they're giving me this life coach, this dream manager, I'm not leaving this organization. Like, they really care about me as an individual." So think about that. Think about how devastating it is when we lose a top level leader, and how much that costs the organization and time, energy, and resources and money. And they were able to retain that person, and she became more engaged. So to your point, when you were talking earlier about, we don't have this work life and this professional and then this personal life, we're one person. And so if people are disengaged at work, which research shows about 70% of the workforce is disengaged, when people are disengaged at work, they're most likely disengaged in their own lives, and they're disengaged in their own lives because they've stopped dreaming. So when you give that gift of dreaming again, that's when you start to see them more engaged in their own life, and they're going to show up at work differently.
Yeah, totally. And, I always like to talk about the impact of things from a micro perspective, a meso perspective, and then a macro perspective. I like to make decisions that are okay, think through the whole thing of how this is going to make an impact, not check the box like, oh, we need to get our continuing education in. No, like, how does it really make a bigger impact? So if we look at the micro perspective, the individual that forgot about dreaming, that was just living life on autopilot, now is inspired, is showing up differently at home because they have energy and they just see the bigger picture of life and they're having fun and they're creative, like just a different side of them from an individual being their best self. And then you've got like the meso level where if you have a team of people that, just one ripple effect of somebody on the team that took the strategy that they worked on with their dream manager to then implement the thing. And then they achieved the safari trip, right? And other people are hearing this and they're like, just getting that energy from others. And it just is elevating, like we're elevating each other as a team. That's pretty incredible. And then from a macro perspective, you've got your organization that the city is hearing that this bank, our bank, we have dream managers. Like this isn't just a job. This is a whole life help you get better place. I want a place with a dream manager. Attracting talent and the engagement scores of this place are so much stronger. Retention rates are so much longer because they have someone to talk to when they feel like they're at that place of like, should I go somewhere else now? And they're talking to somebody about why and figuring out like, wait, this is just something that I need to be proactive and address. But they have this like thought partner through it, right? I'm just thinking through micro, meso, macro impact. How do you feel? Like, what did I miss there? Are we on target?
Yes. So great job explaining it. Can we just like use that and we'll just like send that to people?
Okay, done.
Because
Just tell you.
that is definitely, we do get sometimes people will come in and say, why should I care about my people's dreams? What is this really gonna do? We have goals and we're working on deadlines and we have money to make and it's all about revenue. And so breaking it down into why this program is important from the start of the macro, like the individual level, this is what we see happening in every organization that uses Dream Manager. First, I will tell you, most leaders are shocked at the impact it has in such a short amount of time. So within a month or two, they're already starting to see a difference. So micro with that individual level, you are helping your people dream again, right? Like, what are your actual dreams personally? Not become a better leader, although lots of people have that on their dream list, but it's more like, what are your personal dreams? What do you want to see for yourself and your family? And you're breaking it down into like helping them grow personally. Then you see that within the team because now instead of a lot of gossip or quote unquote water cooler talk, people are talking about their dreams, right? Like they're excited. They're saying, "Hey, John, wow, you've been looking really great. Like I see that you seem to be like really a lot more excited." Or for some of them, like they've lost some weight and they know, and their team members are noticing and they're like, "Wow, what are you doing?" And they get excited to talk about, "I started this new training program. I'm eating differently. I've learned all these new things." And those are the conversations that people are having. They're saying, "Oh my gosh, last weekend I went on a hike and I haven't gone on a hike for years and it was so cool." And so you're starting to build that level of camaraderie within the organization with teams. And for those that may not be part of the program yet because they might be a little skeptical, it's inviting them into the conversation and then those folks usually are saying, "What is this dream manager thing? I might actually want to be part of it as well." And then on a macro level, this is one of those programs that really does support building a dynamic culture throughout the entire organization. Now you have this culture where people feel like they are valued, they feel like they are heard, and you're creating a lot of trust within an organization when the leadership is not just saying that we care about you, but you actually are showing them that we care about you. And we have quite a few organizations that it's really cool to see that they've really taken the dream manager and they've almost made it like the hub of their employee development programs and experiences. There's a lot of organizations, many of whom are probably part of People Forward Network, who offer a lot of programs. They offer a lot of benefits to their team members, but not everyone takes advantage of those. And part of the reason why is because they don't really know that they have access to them. They're not communicated in the right way, or they might be programs that people in the organization don't really want to or don't really need. So when you have a dream manager program and you're starting to learn about the dreams of your people, we've worked with quite a few companies that say, wow, we had no idea that so many people had challenges with some of the stresses in their life, or that they really did want to learn how to meditate, or they wanted to learn how to eat better. Many people that want to buy a home. And so they actually bring outside parties to teach them skills like, what do I need to do in order to get a mortgage and a new home? And what does that look like? Or financial opportunities like financial courses to help them get out of debt. One of our dream managers, they implemented a program where they have a nutritionist and a personal trainer that people can reach out to and book appointments with to help them learn how to get more fit. And also some that now have those meditation classes that they offer a couple times a week that people can come into and take advantage of those opportunities. And so when you learn about the dreams of your people, you'll start to see that many people have very similar dreams. And then you know what employee development programs to bring into the organization that people will actually leverage and be excited about.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And it makes me think about a recent conversation that I had here on Gut Plus Science. We were breaking down a case study of a transformed workplace, and it started with a deep listening tour to really get to know the people. And I'm like, part of Dream Manager is listening, really getting to know the people in your workplace now, and what is it that we need now that are main priorities of our people. And the story that was shared was around so many of the employees being kind of in that sandwich generation or whatever, where they were caring for their parents, like their aging parents, and a lot of stress, and they needed more flexibility in their work and just really wanted to have that time with their parents, at the end of life or whatever. So they created this whole new program, and it changed the entire vibe of the company, but it was all through listening. And I love that the dream manager, that's part of it, is you are listening to the needs and really tapping into individual people. And I wanted to go back to something you said earlier. You said, when we ask people, what are your dreams? And then somebody says, I want to be a better leader. Here's what a dream manager probably does. I'm just putting my hypothesis in here, is they would say, "But why? But why? But why?" And they're going to get to it, and you get to this place that that person says, "Because the person that I've admired most in my life is my grandfather, and he was the greatest leader I knew." And you get to the core of like the why, and then what does that really mean? What did your grandpa do? And you figure out these things, and you then hear that the grandfather was incredible at the community nonprofit involvement, right? And then the dream becomes, I want to find a way to serve in my community nonprofits, right? And that's what a dream manager does, is it takes it beyond, because we don't know how to articulate a lot of times what that dream is, but then you find really that specific thing and hone into that. So I just want to come back to, many times the thing we say isn't really the thing. We get a lot deeper, and that's what a dream manager does. So I wanted to ask this question though, Kate. How do you pick who gets to be the dream manager? Like in the organization? Like, how does that work? Because I'm sure so many people want to be that person, and not everybody can get certified all at once. Like, how does that work?
Yeah, it's so funny because we always tell our dream managers, "You guys, now you're certified as a dream manager," which is the coolest title ever. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So when we work with CEOs, they typically there's a lot of different routes that we see. Sometimes people will read the book and they'll say, "Oh my gosh, Sarah is the dream manager." Like they already see the attributes that this person has on the team and know that she's going to be a great dream manager. For some organizations, they think, "Oh my gosh, this is a full-time role. I need to hire outside of and bring somebody into the role." And so they actually bring someone in. A lot of times it's someone in the HR department, or if they have like a culture or development, a lot of bigger companies, they have those training departments and development departments, or someone in that realm responsible for the culture. And oftentimes the CEO will say, "Well, I can't be the dream manager, but I'm very curious. I want to know all the details." So the CEO will come get certified along with someone else on their team so that they have a high level overview of what it is that's going to be rolling out. But then this person is responsible. We also work with some companies that, one in particular that I'm thinking about, they're scaling the program. They have over 20,000 employees. And this person is the kind of like the head dream manager. And then they have other dream managers now that this person is actually managing, leading, and to help them. So it looks differently to different organizations, but we see it across the board is, for sometimes people are like, I really want this. I know exactly who's getting certified. And for others, it's, we really want this. I don't see anyone on our team that would be the right fit, but I want to hire somebody to make them the actual dream manager. So it's really cool. So some people, they start people off as a full-time dream manager. That's all they do. And some they say, hey, we're just going to start with a handful of people and it's going to be someone in their HR department and they're going to add this into the role description that they currently have. And then once they start getting things rolling, sometimes the kind of succession plan is that they will offload the rest of the things that they do in the HR team. And then their goal would be to be a full time dream manager. So it looks a little bit differently in different organizations, but that's the beauty of the program is no matter where you are, you can absolutely get started. And then once you have all the tools, you're going to know where to go next. And part of our certification, you actually get a year of group coaching so we can help guide you into discovering how best to do that in your organization.
I know I'm like a fangirl groupie of Dream Manager, but I was just thinking here, maybe this is a crazy idea. I'm like, couldn't that be an awesome incentive for leaders to want to, like, almost like a gamification strategy where, here's your goals for your career path, your future here. And we're working towards helping you become a certified dream manager. It's part of your journey to get to that place, right? And you reach this place and you become a dream manager. I'm like, call me crazy, but who wouldn't want that?
I
That's
know.
awesome.
Well, there's actually we work with an HVAC organization and they are incredible and they have put many people through the program. And they had someone come and get certified as a dream manager and she rolled the program out. Our team actually was the dream manager for some of their team members because she wasn't doing it full time. And then about a year and a half later, somebody that actually was a dreamer that participated in the program came back and just got certified to be a dream manager. So they went through the program, they loved it, and then the CEO said, "Hey, do you wanna get certified?" So now this person is certified as a dream manager.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, Kate, this has been so fun. And we're going to head over to our lightning round now where we get to learn a little bit more about you. There's so many cool things going on inside your world that I've known you for quite a while now. But let's hone in on a few. So, I'm obsessed with the book The Dream Manager. What book are you obsessed with right now?
Okay, so we were talking before we hit record, and I was like, "Nikki, you cannot ask me that. There's too many books. There's so many books." I'm even looking at my desk right now. I just have so many books that I love that I just kind of get into. I will say that I'm gonna give you 2. I'm so sorry. I'm cheating.
Yeah, love it.
Useful, Not True is by Derek Sivers. I'm a huge fan of his work. So that is a book that I have just been kind of devouring, and it's one of those you can kind of go back to regularly and just kind of it's very thought provoking. I know you love, Matthew Kelly and his work, and obviously he wrote The Dream Manager. He has written over, like, 40 books by now, which is wild. His latest book that just came out a few months ago is called Slowing Down to the Speed of Joy. I am obsessed with this book. I think every leader should read this book, especially because so many of us are just what's next? What's next? What's next? We're working all the time. We have all these dreams, goals, and ambitions, and we want to do all the things all the time. And Matthew actually said he spent so many years of his life like a Ferrari with no brakes. And I think a lot of us can resonate with that. And so being able to give ourselves permission to just, hey, slow down to the speed of joy, get back to what's most important, what matters. And so it's a beautiful book.
I love that. I have it on my bedside because my mom is a supporter of Matthew Kelly's what is it called?
Oh, Dynamic Catholic.
Yes. And so she had got that book when she was at something recently and it's on my bedside. So I'm digging into it. And wait, your book, and we didn't even plan that you have a whole bookshelf behind you that's so colorful, but I see your book up there that we have to give a shout out up top.
Oh, shout out to my book, Do What You
Yeah.
Love, which
Yeah.
is it's a guide to living your creative life without leaving your job. So I'd share the 7 myths that stop people from pursuing their passions. And I told Matthew when I was writing it, I said, I feel like my book is kind of an extension of the creative dreams. So if you have some creative dreams, whether you want to do photography or have a podcast or do videos or gardening or jujitsu or what are those passions that you've left behind? This book is going to inspire you to get back into whatever that is.
Which ties right into I wanted to tee up your podcast and ask you about that, but your first podcast, you have 2 currently. Your first one that you started is Create for No Reason, which is totally in the realm of what you just shared. Tell us about your 2 podcasts real quick and anything exciting happening in podcast land.
Yeah, so Create for No Reason is really we talk about the joy and frustration of the creative process and building a meaningful body of work. So I talk to really incredible authors and artists and leaders, entrepreneurs, all different people because the creative process is really found in everything everywhere. And so we talk about a lot of those, we talk about a lot of what people are working on and kind of how they're getting through their work and creating their body of work. I recently had Derek Sivers, who wrote Useful Not True, on the show, which was such a dream of mine. He's on, if you're a podcaster, you probably have a dream list of people that you want to interview. And so he was on my list, and I was so excited to have a conversation with him. So I got to do that. And then Lead with Culture is the podcast that we do for Floyd Consulting, which is all about leadership development, company culture. And of course, we talk to all of our dream managers. So anyone that's listening and they're thinking, I'm thinking about the dream manager thing, but I want to hear more stories about actual people that are implementing the program. We do a lot of episodes where we're talking to our certified dream managers and about the impact it's having on their people.
I love it. Well, Kate, this has been so fun. Love it. We've got to do this regularly. Like, I feel like our energy is fun. We could break down dream manager stories and ideas and exercises and activities like for days, I'm sure. I'm like, half the time, I don't even know what I'm talking about. I think that it fits in there. I don't know. But I'm like, I've read the book at least 7 times and talked about it forever. I think I've got enough and I'll play color with you. So you will be back. Thank you so much for being here. Before we go, how can people get in touch with you easiest?
I love connecting with people over on LinkedIn. If we connect on LinkedIn, then we can kind of get to see each other's work and what we're doing, what we're sharing. And so that would probably be the easiest place.
Kate Volman, thank you so much for joining me. I love to talk about dreams. I love learning from you. And then one of my favorite books on the planet is The Dream Manager. So this was a wonderful time breaking down the Dream Manager why the Dream Manager program and how it makes such an impact and the uniqueness of the components that maybe we haven't thought through before. Here's my truth you can act on. Number one, from a micro perspective, we are helping people through the workplace to live more intentional lives as an individual, just unlocking the best version of themselves. And the workplace is the springboard to teaching them and coaching them. That's amazing. And then number two, from a meso perspective, teams have so much more energy and a better vibe when people are dreaming and they're inspired and they're creative. It's, just an incredible feeling to be part of a team that's on fire. And when we're dreaming and thinking big and taking action and feel empowered and inspired, we're just ripple affecting onto everybody else. And the stories of others and the greatness that they're doing to advance their dreams just propel coworkers. It's just part of it, right? So it's incredible. And then when we think from a company and the story that the company is telling to the world at a macro perspective, I mean, how cool is it to go work somewhere where part of your benefits are you get a dream manager? I mean, like, that's incredible. Such a talent attraction opportunity and standout. I love the example that Kate shared about, I think it was a bank that she was talking about, this bank that is getting many applications and interest because they've heard that they have a dream manager program. The list goes on, but it was so fun to dig in and hear more about the program in action. And I will continue to sing the praises of the Dream Manager book and the program and the work that you all are doing at Floyd Consulting. So go check it out. Go read the book. Go get someone certified in your organization to be a dream manager, and we'll see y'all next time. We just left the world a little bit better. Now, go do something with it.